All right, welcome back. It is episode 6. We took a little bit.
You think so?
Yeah, normally we were doing this like every week.
I was going to say, it was just a week. Our last break was almost a year.
We just started. Just kidding. What?
You're saying that, yeah. I was just trying to clarify for the microphone that doesn't see what's going on in the room.
John's wife walked in earlier. She walked in. She's like, I don't want to interrupt. And we were like, oh, no, we haven't even started yet. And as soon as we started it, she opens the door and walks in.
It took so long to start. It's not my fault.
Well, it's because we can't stop fucking talking.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple things I want to touch on before we jump into this. First thing, just to update the viewers, and Alyssa, if she doesn't know, Clark texted me.
Oh yes, I was wondering if we were gonna touch on that. I was literally laying in bed last night, and I was like, I trust Trevor as a person wholeheartedly, but I really wonder if he's gonna have like the brain power in the moment while the mic's on to pull this up. So I'm glad you remember it. Okay.
He texted me the day after we recorded and called him and everything. He called me. He said "fucking asshole," and then that was it. He hadn't replied to my 8-ball or my Christian Bale or anything.
So obviously, if you haven't listened to episode 5, you have no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
I fucked with a guy who got a wrong number.
I was gonna say just a brief. What do they call that? Like a
summary.
Recap.
Yeah, recap. Thank you. Brief recap.
Guess mine wasn't good enough.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Sorry, I'm not 2010 YouTube.
You know, fuck the recap. Just go listen to episode 5. It's great.
Honestly.
It's great. So easily what I think is one of our best episodes yet.
Yeah, oh yeah. So he texted me the very next day at 4:56 p.m. I was at work, and he texts me and says, "Hey, what's up?"
So clearly he's like, wow, that jokester Donald.
So I was trying to handle it like professionally and nicely. I was like, you know what? I had my fun. You know, it's time to I'll let this guy in on everything that happened. He'll probably get a good laugh out of it, whatever. And so I said, hey, dude, you should know that my friend and I have a small podcast, and telling the story of texting and calling you made for probably our best episode yet. I'm not an asshole. I just like entertaining my buddy. We just want to say thanks for making our night. And he said,
very, very cordial, very
Thank
polite.
you. I tried to be upstanding so that way he wouldn't like take it wrong and be like, so you're just messing with me for what? A good time?
Like if he's still mad after that text, there's something wrong with it.
He wasn't.
It's his fault.
Surprisingly apologetic.
Oh, okay, go on.
And he said, okay, sorry. Are you Donald, friend?
Are you Donald, friend?
Are you Donald, friend? If we didn't already name a podcast after Donald, I'd already say we have our title. But I said, no, I don't know Donald. You got the complete wrong number, man. And then I sent him a link to the podcast, to episode 5, and I said, hey, you can listen to it if you want a good laugh, and he never replied.
Oh, wow.
So, just small update. I hope he listened to it. I hope to God he listened to
really
it.
hope
So if you guys start getting hate comments from like an old man, you know why.
Fuck you. You'll never be as good as Donald.
I think at this
You'll
point,
never be as good as Donald. You're not him.
I think at this point we just need to look for usernames in the comments that start with a C, anywhere between Clark or Carl.
And then there's one that shows up that's like it's like the Don 4927 and he's like, I'm alive.
I live. I know we probably said this like a million times the last podcast, but if you love this guy so much, how do you A, already not have his number?
Yeah.
B, have a phone call go as long as that one did and not know him?
Right, I know I did
like
not sound like Donald. I didn't have a neutral
yeah.
voice at all.
It went pretty quickly, but he for a second was like, oh yeah, what's going on?
Well, I expected like the first word out of my mouth for him to be like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I know my friends well enough. I know you, I know Wes, I know Isaiah. I know all of their voices well enough that if someone picks up their phone, if someone picks up a number that I don't know is theirs and is like, yo man, and I'm like, I would just know. I would just know, like, you're not my man, you're not my guy, you're Shaggy from the famed reggae rapper.
I'm really disappointed that he didn't at least give like a a reply of some
Yeah.
sort to have, show some sportsmanship.
No, Clark's not that smart.
Obviously.
He's not that respectful.
He listens to this.
To the young
I
podcast.
hope he does too. Like, he's one of our newest fans.
If he listens to this one, then the
He's
first
here.
one hooked him good enough
Yeah.
to
Well, if we
listen.
didn't trash him enough the last
Yeah, I was
episode.
about to say, if he went through that entire one and was like, I'm going to listen to another episode, this isn't going to bother him.
Oh.
And if you are listening, don't be bothered.
Yeah. Be a good sport.
Otherwise, I mean, if you are, I'm going to take Donald again.
So good.
I have been talking to you, going through some stuff. This next guy, I hope, doesn't ever listen to this, because if he knows what I was planning to do, he's probably going to hate me. But
Speaking of which, did I tell you? Sorry to interrupt.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Speaking of what
I got a
you
list
just
of topics.
in reference to what you just said, that story I told about my brother last week with the porn and
Yeah.
stuff. The next day after we put it online, he's like, "Hey, I love the podcast. I'm almost done with episode 2." So
yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna get there. He's gonna get to that episode, and his opinion is gonna completely 360 on me, or 180. He's not gonna like it anymore."
it's fine. It's fine. You know what? Because my story is we're out here ruining relationships with
Do you know if your brother listens or not?
which brother? I know one of them
You know,
does, and the
that's a
other I
good
don't
point.
know.
Well,
So-
I guess the one that you told about him it was more embarrassing.
Oh,
than
that
your part.
brother. Yeah, he's listened to the first episode,
Nice.
but I don't know if he
Fake
has
fan.
I don't know if he's kept listening. But no. Speaking of brothers, I have a half brother. My dad died when I was really young, and I have a half brother on his side that we interacted when I was like 2 months old, and like maybe under a year. So really, I've never met this guy. So recently, I found his Facebook, and I was like, so this is the guy that's related to me. He looks kind of like me, not really. Like I think enough to tell that, like, okay, if you tell me these two people are related, I can believe it, but not enough to be like, holy shit, are you guys twins? He's
It's almost
5
like
years
he has a
older than me.
different mom or something.
But yeah, he's so obviously when my dad died when I was super young, when I was like 2 months old, we didn't really interact anymore because there wasn't that thing. We live in 2 different cities. But I was recently thinking about reaching out. And it was your idea at first, but I really latched onto it, and I was like, it's a good one, though. It's a good one. And that was, so at the end of Happy Gilmore, there's 2 characters, Chubbs and an alligator, and Abraham Lincoln.
The alligator that ate
Chubbs' hand.
Yeah.
And Abraham Lincoln are in the sky waving down at Adam Sandler. And I was going to take the picture of the 3 of them in the sky and Photoshop my dead dad's face on Abraham Lincoln and send it to
Did you
him
say
on
this was
Father's
my
Day.
idea?
This was because I was
I
going
don't remember coming up with this at
I
all.
was just gonna say Happy Father's Day on Father's Day, like friend him and be like, Happy Father's Day, I'm your little brother, and you're like, it'd be even funnier. This is when we worked at Domino's. You were like, it'd be even funnier is if you got a picture of Chubbs the alligator and your dad, because we thought that was hilarious. And like I just thought about it over time, and then last week I made the picture, and I started sending it to people, and I was like to my 4 closest. So you, Wes, and Isaiah, and then my brother, my full blood brother, who I've grown up with.
The people you think that would give you the most thoughtful advice.
Yeah.
Take the question seriously instead of like a meme.
Right, and so I was like, realist question, should I send this to him on Father's Day and say just Happy Father's Day,
Obviously, you know my answers, since apparently I came up with the
Yeah.
idea.
I got 2 yeses and 2 nos, which meant that I had to, like, I put up a little Instagram poll.
Now it
for
goes to Congress.
I picked an odd amount of people who I thought would, like, seriously take into consideration, like, would this be a, not people. I didn't want just random people who didn't know me, who just crave chaos to be like, yeah, do it. I wanted people who would think about it and be like, it can't go that bad, So if I send it to him, it's like a coin toss because he was 5 when my dad died.
Okay,
so
see, that I was going to ask you. Do you know how much your father was in his life?
Not very
Ultimately, more than yours.
much.
So
He
it has
was
to count for
already
something.
born when my dad found out that he existed.
And you were what? How old? Like a few months old when he died?
I was 2 months, yeah.
2 months old.
So,
2-month-old little infant.
Yeah.
Little infant Trevor.
So anyway, I put this poll out there, and it came to like 90% of the answers were yes, and 10% were no. And I was like,
I mean, it just envisioned the picture in your head.
And I wanted to.
We really need to make like an Instagram for what little following we have so that we can put like pictures up for
that'd probably be a
like
smart
this.
thing to do. Yeah. But,
although I'm not sure if we should put the picture up that we're talking about because...
You tore out your dad's face.
There's no point in being on it.
Well, then you don't know, I mean...
But I did some more digging around. Which,
we should put your head over it.
If he's ever listening to this, I really hope he doesn't, because he's gonna be like, what an asshole, dude. I'm related to this guy. But I did some...
These dead dad jokes are funny.
Yeah, it was a coin toss. It was a coin toss for me to be like, it either he was going to think it was funny or he was going to think it was horrible, and so I did some more digging, and I found out that not too long ago, within the last decade, his mom died. And I just feel like I said before we started recording, if it was a coin toss before, it's like just me taking a bat to his head this time, It's just me driving into his house.
And as of now, you have had
truck.
Zero communication.
Right. I did send a friend request to him, and he accepted it. I don't know if he knows that we're related. I mean, I think he could probably figure it out by the fact I have the same last name, and like looking at my face and being like, I can kind of see something, I don't know. I don't know if he's done the same amount of digging that I have, if he cares at all. I don't know, because I've never talked to him. And I really wish I could have my opinion. Does that make sense? Like, if I could just talk to me, a version of me who is separated from this, maybe like a year ago me, and be like, what would you think of this? If you had another guy, and get my own...
I feel like it would have to be a different you, because I'm pretty sure like a year ago is when we had this idea.
Well, I mean like... maybe a little longer, just setting it aside and being like, so Weston wants to do this, or Isaiah, or something like that, and just saying like, so somebody else wants to do this. What is your opinion on that? What is your take on that? Your outside take on that? Because nobody knows me better than me, I think, which I know is dumb, but I have a story that's segueing into that I'm really excited to tell you. So just to help prove it.
Hi, my name's Trevor. This is my cool, crazy life.
So
it's kind of crazy.
No, so sophomore year, I was in JROTC in high school, and sophomore year they had us do this thing at the beginning of the year. Yeah, useless fucking civilians, you wouldn't get it. No, so. Sophomore year, at the beginning of the year, they had us write these letters to ourselves. And we would open it at the end of the semester, because some people only took the course for like a semester, so they weren't going to keep it for like your entire high school career. So they just had us write a letter to ourselves, and then at the end of the semester we would open it, and I wrote my little letter. And then
you're like, hey,
sophomore year, I went through so much. Like I was in my first like long-term relationship. It was like a year, and that ended. And then there was just a lot of other problems that kind of rose up. And that was probably like the low point of my high school career. It was never like bad, I don't think. Just a little span of a few months, just constantly shitting on me and beating the shit out of me. And I was like, damn, this fucking sucks. I hope my whole life isn't like that. And then like 6 months later, I was golden again.
High school is like that, especially towards the end.
Well, yeah. Okay. And yeah, and I think that probably comes. No, that's fine.
Suck it up. You were in ROTC. Not that you did anything.
Right. That probably comes from like there's always a point in your life where you go from like what you're used to and what you're comfortable with to a point where like suddenly things just don't go your way, or like more so than usual.
Well, I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah. So, but we reached the end of the semester. And they're like, okay, these letters that you wrote. And I was like, oh, shit, we wrote letters to ourselves. And I completely forgot everything I had written, because I forgot that I wrote a letter entirely. And for the first 10 minutes, I was like, did we actually do this? Am I going to get one? Did I write one? And sure enough, they handed me one with my name on it. And it was because I used to there was like a little period in time where I wrote in cursive, and some people will like write in a blend of like cursive and like just print, and that's kind of what my handwriting has evolved to now. But by then I was like, I'm gonna be fancy, and a lot of the letters were just so ugly and terrible, and it was in like my little ugly like
my cursive
T name.
Some of them were so carefully written. Others is just doctor script.
yeah. So I picked it up and I was like, this is definitely, no one has cursive handwriting this bad. This is ugly. I wrote this. And so I open up the little envelope and I pull out the paper and I read it. And it has one sentence. And it says, Dear Trevor, this fall Katie and I are going to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. Oh. So if you guys aren't still together, this must be pretty awkward. Love, Trevor.
Oh, I love that.
That was it. And I laughed so hard. And like there were some people who like came over there like, what's so funny? And they opened it. And I also thought it was funny because they all knew what was going on. We were all in the same little class. And I'm sure somebody told her like why I was just fucking dying. I know she probably, because she was in the room with me, she probably knew, to some degree, like that's got to be about me. That's got to be about me. I think it's just human intuition would just tell her like he's fucking laughing at me right now. But I remember reading it and I could not. It was one of the hardest I'd ever laughed. Like I fell out of the chair and I was just on the ground. But I don't know. I just feel like me in August knew like, this relationship's not going to last forever. It might not last the end of the semester. He's going to think this is funny. And it was. And so if I could just find a 6-month ago me or something like that and just be like, what's your take on this? What's your take on my brother?
You changed my mind.
So.
Which that relationship never really ended, to be fair, because she's like best friends with your sister, so you still have to see her all the time.
It's
all
true.
the time.
And it's so annoying because like, it's not even about being in a like having dated her anymore. It's about like she's treated my sister like such trash, like such trash, like garbage, like just mud underneath, like just fuck you.
It was fine what you did to me.
So I just think it's totally. But they're still friends. She straight up told her like 2 months into their friendship, like I'm only friends with you to get back with your brother.
Oh my god!
That's why I became friends with you. But now, I think we have a really good thing going.
Jesus fuck!
Anything that starts that way is just cut it. Just cut it. 5 years later, I'm still dealing with this bitch.
I feel like the friendship between Shrek and Donkey has more like strength to it. He's dead ass like, dude, we get this princess back. I'm going to my swamp. I will never fucking see
our swamp.
That's just so weak.
It is.
And I can't think of one of my exes that I can think of one because my brother has on and off been dating her for a while, which is kind of like a similar thing. But that was like, she was a middle school ex. I barely dated her.
Yeah.
And now,
you guys
like, we're great. Like,
right. You weren't like engaged to her and it ended horribly. Yeah.
Little to no.
I mean, I wasn't either, but.
But I can't think of one of my ex-girlfriends that I would be okay with just seeing all the time, come over to my house and just hanging out and always having stupid comments for things.
Yeah.
And even if it ended well, like you said, like she's not the greatest to your sister, so that's just
it's a little bit of a mess.
Sticky, yeah.
I do have exes that I get along with, which I bring up a lot because my sister will be like, you just don't like her because you dated her. And I'm like, all right, but... Example over here. Look at this. Look at this. How do you explain your other friends that like do the same thing to you that I don't like? I didn't date them.
Yeah. So why the fuck do you like her?
But yeah, that's where.
So ultimately, you decided no picture to your brother.
No picture to my brother because I feel like that'd just be a little cruel.
Where do we go from here, then?
I don't know. I should say. I haven't almost. You want to text him?
Yeah.
You friend him, and you're like,
brother.
I've thought about reaching out, but I'm worried. I'm a little worried that like it'll turn out, one of those ways that's like, like I don't fucking need you. There's no way, don't call me your brother because we don't know each other. You're no closer to me than than just a stranger off the street.
Which is really, like, sometimes I can understand. A lot of times there's just such complicated family situations that kind of make it seem like that was the only answer you were ever going to get. But I don't feel like this one's that bad.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially if he's anything like you, he should kind of come around, you think.
Again, going through his Facebook,
right?
He's got some similar interests, I think. At least a few that we could latch onto and talk about. But I'd love to reach out, but I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure how. And I know that's not exclusive. That's not like just the thing that I feel. I know plenty of other people in these situations have the exact same feelings. Like, how do I tell them, like, hey, are you aware of who I am, of my existence? And if so, how do we do? How do we go? Yeah, how do I go about getting to know him and stuff like that?
Like, for example, my dad, he had me and my brother. He raised my other brother and my sister from a very young age. A similar situation to like what you have.
Yeah.
Their dad is long dead. He died years ago. And it actually wasn't that different situation either. Like, it wasn't a car crash, but like so many things about the situation leading up were very similar. Now that I think about it, it's really weird. Anyway, but he had a kid way before, when he was 14, in this very town.
Oh yeah, I think you told me about this once. Yeah.
So he went to a party. Long story short, he met this girl. She wanted to have a baby, and he's like, "Yeah, whatever. I'll give you a baby. I'm 14. I'll fuck this chick." Like, yeah. So I mean, I can't think of any other 14-year-old that wouldn't go for it.
Look at me, the semen demon.
Yeah, right? I'm pretty sure 14-year-old me would be right on that top of that shit, too. But anyway, he did it. She just got what she came for. She took off, had the kid. Years later, they kind of, I don't know if it was years later or how long after, but eventually he went back, and of course, since the kid was still a kid, they all kind of pushed him away and denied everything and didn't want anything to do with him. And then years and years later, he went and found, or no, my mother did. My mother took it upon herself to go and find her as an adult, and, came to her and was like, my husband, quite possibly maybe your father. Like, I think it's worth a blood test, but like, from the way my dad tells the story, it's pretty undeniable.
Yeah.
Unless he's lying, but for whatever reason, I'm not really sure why he would lie about such a detrimental thing in his life. Especially the emotion that he has behind it.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thing to process over years in a kid that you maybe met like once or twice. Mm-hmm. And as a father now, I can't imagine what kind of emotion goes behind that.
Right.
Except for what
that's
I
something
see.
I don't think I'll understand for a while. Because, I mean, you have a kid.
Right.
And I think there's... obviously speaking as somebody who doesn't have a kid, so I could be completely wrong. You're like, nah, fuck that baby. But, I mean, I've always felt like fetus. When you have a kid, it takes a pretty rotten person to just not immediately have some sort of, like, connection to it and be like, this is mine. This is my offspring.
Very well said.
Something that I created.
Very well said. But he went to her when she was older, and she basically, all she had to say was, that may be true, that may not be true, but I grew up with a dad and who I know as my dad, and I grew up with this as my mom, and this is how they met, and this has been my family and my life going forward, and I really am just not interested in changing that at all.
Yeah.
Your situation's a little bit different,
well,
but...
kind of. No, well, because I did grow up with a dad, and who I've talked about on the podcast before, and I love him a lot. I respect him. He's my dad. He's raised me since I was, a year old.
Does he know you're out there? Like, for sure. Do you know of that? Your brother.
I don't know, because I was talking to my mom about it.
That's where I'm thinking, like, because if he definitely knew you, that's why I'm thinking it might be a little bit different. Because if he definitely knew you were out there, then it's like maybe he's chosen not to. Maybe he's chosen not to come search you out. Maybe he's chosen that.
Right. My mom was thinking, because her and his mom didn't get along super well. Like they got along, and like they could talk and everything, but they did have their problems, obviously. Right. And she was like, I don't know if after we stopped interacting, if she kept reinforcing the idea, like, remember, you have these siblings out there, or if she just kind of buried that whole part. But she doesn't know, because obviously she wasn't around at all.
It's a thinker, and I think it's very...
I think the fact that he accepted a friend request from somebody that there's no way that...
your cousin or something.
Maybe. That's entirely possible.
Like a distant cousin.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we have the same last name.
I'll say this, it's very... brave and selfless of you to be willing to share all this, like on the podcast.
So brave.
Oh, well, thank you.
Okay, now I take that back. I don't want to call you brave.
I was about to say, I don't think brave's quite the right word.
But I mean, it
talking.
seems like a kind of personal thing that you might want to pursue yourself. But
well, I mean, it's better to talk about it, whether on the podcast or not, than just sit there in my room and be like, this. Because the last time I
can
sat
tell
in
you,
my
whoever
room,
does listen to this, if they don't already know about this, I'm pretty sure. I think the average person would be interested to see where this goes. Right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The last time I just sat in my room and was like, this could be a good idea. I was going to send him a picture of our dead dad, photoshopped into the sky, waving down at him.
And you're right. Maybe talking about it a little bit and
get
bouncing some ideas off the wall might have been a better idea.
So why is this not a good idea, though? I don't understand why I shouldn't do this.
Could you imagine how many things in the world, like if everybody just went for their first draft of things?
God.
This podcast would be called John and Trevor Come Together.
It would be, yeah. Which is not a bad name.
No, it's a bad name. That's why we didn't have it.
I don't
No,
think
it's a bad name.
I don't
That's
think it's a bad name. I don't think it's just not as.
That's why you didn't want it to
I
be
just
the
think it's
title,
not
right?
as good as the one that I came up with. You know, it's like a solid 7, and mine's a 12. Okay. I mean, ours is a 12.
I hope if we make it to episode 300, we're still having this argument. So
you can name the next one.
Do you think you will? I mean, obviously, you're going to try to talk to him
eventually.
Where do you think you'll go? I've already asked this question, but where do you think you'll go from here?
I guess just find a way to. As soon as I figure out how to best articulate, the words and stuff that I would need to.
Just get better at Photoshop.
Me, just me, full grown with our dad, like photoshopped onto a living person. I'm like, he's still here. Look, he never died. He just didn't care.
Or aged, apparently.
Oh,
that's great.
No, I've actually thought before. Because you see about movies all the time, like, what if something came up? What if he did something like that? Or something came up and I just found out that, like, he never died. He just left and my mom told me he died. It's like, just a convenient lie. Like, fucking devastating. I know there are people who have gone through that. That's gotta be devastating.
Grilling burgers in Pasadena right now.
That's gotta be just killer to just think, go your whole life thinking that thing, and then it just be upturned. That's got to be awful.
Are you saying from
if I found out my
point
dad
of
was
view?
alive?
Yeah.
I know he's dead. I
asked Luke Skywalker.
Shit.
Countless
Can you imagine?
anecdotes.
Like someone's trying to recruit me to some drug ring, and I'm like, who's the fucking crime boss? I'm gonna take him down. I love Spider-Man. All right, that's what he would want me to do. Some gay shit like that. And then the guy's like, "You want to know who I am?" And he takes off his mask, and it's just that same smiling face I've looked at on my wall for the last 20 years.
Even with like a yellow tinge.
No.
From like the aging photograph.
It's impossible.
What's another like story or anecdote where there was a reveal of the father? Why can I only think of Star Wars right now?
Dude, are you kidding me? Buzz Lightyear and Zurg?
Oh, yes! Which, even though it's loosely based off of Star Wars, it's still...
And they play catch at the end of the movie.
Great.
Yeah, dude, I cried watching Field of Dreams.
Oh, God.
Have you seen that movie? Because holy fuck. Really makes you want to hug your dad.
You'll hug my dad right now. Maybe I have to go hug my son.
I'm going to hug your dad.
Okay. Okay. Well, you'll have to give us updates then.
I guess I will. Eventually, I'll come with one.
By the next episode?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
I don't want to rush you. Invite him over for Christmas.
Like, hey man, I know you don't really know me. If you want to come
or
over,
any of us, or any of this at all, except for that picture of your dad on the wall. It's the only thing in like a fucking
I'd laugh
100
so
mile
hard if he had
radius
the
that you
same
recognize.
picture on his fucking wall.
Yeah. Too good. Too
Yeah.
good.
So yeah, I guess I just reach out eventually and find a way to put it into words like, do you know me? And if you do, let's get to know each other. You know, let's.
Just message him, bruh.
I'd say.
Love you, bro.
Love you, brother.
I'd say if you're gonna take anything from the Star Wars anecdote, don't kiss him.
That might be a good.
Or kiss him and never talk about it again.
Yeah. Oh God, and we just recently watched Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
In that movie alone, she kisses him at least 3 times.
I thought it was only twice. I thought it was on Hoth, and then when he's like knocked out in the Falcon at the end, she gives him a kiss before.
Maybe it is twice. I swear.
I know
there's
there's a third time in A New Hope.
There's gotta be another one.
There's
yeah,
one
in A New Hope, she's fucking like slobbering on his knob and shit.
Right, because like especially when they're about to swing, she just gives him a kiss, is like for luck. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Which makes
Why is no one talking about that one? That's way worse.
Which makes it so much better because we just started watching Return of the Jedi, and then as soon as Yoda tells him, he's just so like arm around the back instead of the waist, and
I saw a
It
video.
even looked like a scene where she kind of leaned in and he just kind of did the thing where he swings his head around the neck for like a hug.
I remember I saw a video.
But she's
forever
also
ago.
kissing Han this
Well,
whole
right.
film too.
Yeah, well, like I was about to say, I saw a video forever ago where it's like at the end where she's like telling, he's like, you love him, don't you? And she's like, yeah, but it's not like that. He's my brother. And like Harrison Ford's face, obviously, is more like a moment of realization, like I can be with this girl. But it starts playing like I don't remember if it was YMCA or Sweet Home Alabama, but it just zooms in his face. He's like thinking, and then like it just shows like the little background, just them kissing over and over and over.
My head just kind of the Seinfeld one like.
Dude, there's so many moments in my life where I would love to have the Seinfeld theme ready to play on the loudspeakers over everything. Everything. That and the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme.
Never watched.
Oh
Oh yeah, I've heard it before. I've never watched Curb Your Enthusiasm though.
Me neither. But I remember. I don't remember who created the show. I want to say it's Larry David, but again, I haven't seen it.
It is Larry David.
It is Larry David?
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember him talking about, like, someone was like, what do you think of all the memes that have been coming out of the thing? He's like, it's perfectly in spirit with the show. I love that. I love that the community is...
I love that. I love when people go along with shit like that.
Right,
Why
he's
try to
like,
fight
that's
it?
why I created the show, was to have fun and have a good time. And I think people taking that and putting it on, applying it to their own situations is completely what it was created for.
I think memes are probably one of the highest forms of flattery.
Memes are one of the highest forms of fucking getting
Emotion.
the word out. Elon Musk paid $0 in advertising the Cybertruck at all. He revealed it, and the memes took it by storm. And I'm pretty sure it's like sold out. He's got over 200,000 Cybertrucks pre-purchased already.
That Elon.
He didn't have to
When
put
will he
any
stop?
effort. He just let the internet take it away.
His next car's just gonna be shaped like a fucking dick. Something completely out of the box.
But people will buy it. People will just say, I bought the fucking dick car.
Yeah, I'm whipping dick around corners and shit. I'll give anything to be like, yeah, I'm about to pull the dick out the garage.
Did you ever see that one that was like someone suggested to him on Twitter the idea of like being able to upload your own like honk sounds to play through your Tesla, and someone was like, if I get brud on the highway, I'm driving 80 miles into oncoming traffic.
bruh.
You like cut somebody off and you just bruh. Oh, can you imagine?
I would want like a piercing like old lady scream, like if you just like sample horror movie sounds and go for any scream, like deadpan scream, just like that you hear, just so it'd be so loud too, to just because like in a car setting, when you're driving a car, when you hear a horn, your blood pressure starts to go up, like you don't know what's going on. Am I about to be in a collision?
Or somebody else, yeah.
Till you figure out where or what's going on with the car situation, you get a little worried. Imagine just hearing the like glass shattering scream just come right next to you. You killed somebody. You think you're like, how am I getting this fucking blood off my car?
The truck that hit my dad. Got him.
Got him.
I make a lot of jokes about my dad because I didn't know him. So I don't know if my brother would have the same. I don't know. You never know. You never know if, I'll show up and he'll be like, hey, dead bros.
Maybe we should do, a covert thing where, you send me in to meet him first.
How would that happen?
Well, I don't know.
My boss is very interested in
find out where he works and his interests and stuff, and I'll just go make friends with him. It's not that hard to make friends with people. Yeah, and then after I'm done sucking him off, you'll be like, I know your brother!
Surprise!
Such a weird last name. Do you know Trevor?
And then you can learn if he's like, I don't have a brother. Or, what are you talking about? You're like,
he's
so,
dead to me.
I heard about your dad, and he's like, Kevin's on the couch right in there.
The joke is that I'm blowing somebody.
The joke is that your dad is living with him.
No.
That was the joke. He dipped. He dipped from them.
I took a CIS class.
Say
college.
you do send the picture to him, and he's like, what the fuck?
Really old
Dad? What is it, son?
I took a computer information systems class, and they were like, all right, what we want you to do is just Google your name, and you'll be surprised at the kind of stuff that you can find by Googling and just doing a little bit of digging as to what your presence on the internet is. And we all did that, and that was pretty cool. But I was like, my dad died in like New Year's of '99.
You get his obituary, and you're like, oh.
That's exactly what happened.
I found out a lot.
Because I wanted to see just what kind of cyber footprint he had, if any. Because the internet was still very it wasn't household. Everybody's got a what?
The internet was Baby Yoda.
I guess so.
Still old, but. Even after it was here for years, it was still a piece of shit.
The only thing on there was his obituary, but I was thinking what if I just searched him up and he just had a whole other family,
Just spell his last name a little
nice
different.
Car. You put an R at the
second
end.
A. Or a 69
I was
at the end of it.
replace the A with an O, balance way low.
I'm glad we've had so many yucks over your dead dad.
Oh, you don't even know. Over the last 20 years, you don't know how many I've had. And I didn't find out until a year ago, because I remember making a joke about it with my brother growing up, and he was like, I remember him telling me come on, man, that's not funny, And I never brought it up to him again. But with everyone else, I would make all these jokes about it because I'm desensitized. Obviously, I didn't know him. It doesn't hit me as hard as it would somebody who lost their dad, when they were 17 or something like that. But I made all these jokes about it, and I didn't find out until a year ago that my brother has been making the same exact jokes to his friends, and we're both so ready to whip one out.
The brother you know,
right? It was this guy. This guy that's friends with both of us was just he started working with my brother, and then he came back and told me, he was like, you guys are very obviously brothers. When you look at each other, you're I guess I can see how they're related. And it's when you start talking that you're okay, these guys are definitely related. I just found out we're
That's good. We should get him on the podcast sometime.
We should. I think he'd really enjoy that, actually.
He'd be funny.
He'd have a good time.
He can tell us the other side of the shaking the bunk bed story.
We won't bring it up.
So I was just getting ready to jerk off, and the craziest thing happened.
The bed's shaking.
Yeah. I was like, who's jerking off for me?
You just start thinking, what kind of pair are we? So much alike.
God, what else? Oh, what about your other brother? Would you think we could ever get him on this podcast?
Dude, I don't even know. I'm just working up the courage to say hi first, and then I could be like, "Can you come talk on my podcast?"
You think just in the future a little bit, just imagine it'd be a perfect end to the saga that we just started.
If I'll update it and update it, and eventually we'll see if we can end on that. You know, if he says no, no means no.
Right.
You know,
And
I'm
then we
not
just
gonna
have
be
to go
like,
at him with a microphone.
what do you think? Talk about
Sir,
it.
it's Mr. Valenzuela.
Did you know our dad? What did he sound like?
What was his favorite color?
Would he have liked to play catch with me?
Did you watch him die?
Were you there?
Why'd you let him drive?
Answer the questions or I'm not leaving. You think the police are going to stop me?
Oh, God.
Brother?
It's not my dad, and I feel so bad making this.
Don't. It's okay.
Well, I hope to maybe meet your brother someday, so it's like...
So do I.
With you, if you're making the jokes, it's like, yeah, it's whatever. His fucking dad. But then with this guy, it's like, I don't even know him, so... What kind of fucking dick do I look like?
Well, they can't see you, so.
Good
fine.
point.
You just sound like a massive asshole.
Who cares?
It's not a visual media. Did you have anything else? Dead air.
There's not. I don't think there's much more to add in the way of my my estranged half brother.
Wait.
Yeah, I mean, eventually the story will progress, and I'll bring it up on here.
I think I'm gonna say dead air every episode.
Probably.
Kinda
Until there's not any dead air.
I got a bad feeling about this.
It's like one day we have like a really good episode, and it's just flowing, crazy good. And I'm like, all right, man, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. And it's like, dead air. Just wait till the very end.
I'm gonna wait for the last second of the clip.
Yeah. I do have a couple more stories that I was...
I just hate it. I know when I'm listening to a podcast and they stop talking for whatever reason, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I'm reaching for my pants.
I think, like is it loading? What happened? But I guess I can jump into one of these other stories, but they're completely unrelated.
Okay.
I'll pick a different one, I guess.
Dead air.
Deadass.
Dead air.
Okay, so I dated a girl, which is
Girl?
surprising, right? Dude, fucking
Girl.
weird.
Coming full circle here.
She had an older brother who was like 10 years older than her. I think he was a half brother too.
One day she got stuck under the table.
No,
Bro, can you help me out?
I'm stuck. I can't move.
He's like, what do you want me to do?
My ass is in the air. No, she had a brother, and he was really cool, I thought. But even cooler was his best friend, who I got to meet because I would go over there all the time. He wasn't like a bum living at home, but like he was visiting. In the time that we were dating was like the 6 months that he was visiting from wherever he lived.
Okay.
And his best friend lived down here. And I was over there, it was Christmas time. And I was over there, and him and his best friend were there, and they were all talking. And his best friend shared probably the greatest piece of wisdom that I think I've ever found, because it works. It's like 100% effective until the woman knows about it. Sorry. You'll never be able to use it.
Yeah, you're getting exclusive here. Some behind the curtain.
Exclusives.
Because he told me, we had only been dating for maybe 3 months at that point. And, we were all laughing, having a good time. And he was like, all right, listen, man, there's going to be a time someday when she's going to be mad at you and you're not going to know why. Okay? You're not going to know what happened. You're just going to be sitting there and you're going to be like, what the fuck did I do? And I have just the way out 100%. Okay? You're going to be able to just every time. Zigzag through it every time. Because there are two things when a woman's angry that she wants to hear. And now that I'm telling the story, it sounds a little misogynistic, but his girlfriend was there and she was laughing along with it. It's just so it just sounds a little like women. Yeah, I know exactly what to say to calm one down. You know? Believe me, I've had sex. Something like that.
Kind of like Nathan Breeze, like, all I need is a brew in my hand, a bro on my side, and I'm good to go.
But he was like, there's two things that a woman wants to hear when she's mad at you. It's that you're sorry, and that she's right.
You just bought the copy of Shrek 2 on DVD Blu-ray.
But yeah, it's that you're sorry, and that she was right. And so what you have to do is you got to sell it with your eyes. Tus Ojos. That's what he said to me.
Tus Ojos.
He said, yeah, sell it with your eyes. Tus Ojos. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm ready. And he was like, he took his girlfriend's hands and he's like, you just gotta go like this. And you look him in the eyes, and you know, he looked so sincere, and he was like, listen, babe, I know you've been through a lot today, but I'm really sorry. You were right. And she's not going to ask you, what are you sorry for? She's not going to come at you and be like, what was I right about? That's going to fix your problem 100%.
Like, you know what? I was right.
Yeah, and you guys are just going to... And, like, at first I was like, oh, what a funny story. But then, like, it wasn't the same relationship. It was a different relationship.
Was there a time jump?
There is kind of... I mean,
I
I wouldn't say it's, like... super
like the
interesting,
end of
but I did end up
Empire,
using it again.
Luke's kind of shifty here, and then the beginning of Return of the Jedi, he's like lifting shit up.
That's exactly what it was like because it was a new relationship. You know, she wasn't there. She didn't. She didn't know about this story that I had heard and kept in my brain and just kept in a file cabinet. And so one day she was just upset. She was just upset, and I was like, I think we know how to handle this. I'm not sure if she's mad at me. But just in case she is, I think we know how to handle this. And that's what I did. Next time I saw her in person, I was like, listen, I know I haven't been the best lately. I know I've been probably a little moody, and, you know, I'm sorry. You were right. And that was one of the best dates we had. Honestly, it was so loving. It was so good.
She reverse cowgirled you instantly.
Well, let's just say that Dairy Queen parking lot was rocking. I'm just kidding.
Oh no!
I'm just joking.
The whole parking lot was
the
shit.
entire thing. Yeah, the great Arizona earthquake of 2018. No. But it did like just mend a lot of like when I just apologize. I just apologized for something I didn't know at all.
You're like looking at your hands like, holy fuck, he was right.
I'm a god.
That man's dangerous. I have to learn from him. I'm just gonna see because I haven't seen him since I didn't see him like accidentally like in Walmart or anything. But someday I will. And I remember his face. I remember his name, and I'm gonna be like, hey man. Teach me. Train me. I need more. So. Yeah, I think there's a lot of wisdom. He was probably like 27 or 28. So there's probably, I hope to be that wise when I'm that old, you know, have as much experience to just be able to find some kid who's like just.
I mean, you ask any married man, they'll tell you a bunch of like basic like one-liners like that.
Hey John, can I have a couple of basic one-liners like that?
No, because I'm bad at it.
You said any married man.
You see that dog house out there? The one with like John wood carved into the top of it. Obviously, I need to meet this gentleman as well.
See, that wouldn't work on me though. I'm one of those bitches who are like, what are you sorry about? What was I right about? Like, what exactly? Because I know
what?
you're bullshitting.
You're not like the other girls.
Oh, no, stop.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
You're not sorry.
I think you're. I
I
think two things. First off, I think it would work on you. Okay, if you didn't know about it.
If I didn't know about it.
And secondly, I think it's not just women. I think it's perfectly applicable to any partner you have. Because when you're sitting there and because you know, in every relationship I've been with, like when I'm angry at them, I don't want to come at them and be like, you know, you're such a piece of shit for doing that to me. You know, I got cheated on once, and I can't see myself like seeking her out and being like, you know what, you're a piece of shit. You know, just because like I don't know, I don't like treating people that way.
Right. So
I feel like in any relationship, if you're mad at them, you don't want to straight up tell them like you know what, you're a real piece of garbage for that, you know. And I'm so angry at you. I mean, unless you're just super communicator. Most of the time, you just want to like keep it in and just be like, this will go away. You know, it's no big deal. If it's really not a big deal. If they like, you know, shouted at your dad at Thanksgiving dinner, and you're gonna be like, that was my fucking dad. Okay, he didn't die for this. But if it's something like,
screaming at it.
If it's something like they put like an empty milk gallon back in the fridge, you're not gonna be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you stupid? Are you dense in the fucking head?" You know, you're not gonna do that. So I feel like if someone said something,
like,
they're just like, you know
you're
what?
right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
If she said
Put
that
the
to me,
empty milk jug in there.
if she said something to me like that, I'd just be like, "All right, okay, that's good. We can move past it." You know, I feel like it's applicable to any relationship that you're in.
I also think it's great that we don't have milk.
But I'm not. I can't see myself interrogating the person and being like, "Listen, are you sorry? Because you didn't even get more milk."
I hope if you listen to this on headphones that you get this, because I feel like I do this thing where I lean in a lot when I laugh. Yeah. And I also do like a kind of thing. Like I do a lot with my nose and my mouth. But I keep getting really close to the mic, so I feel like if you're listening to headphones on this, you keep getting like a French bulldog effect, where you're just like every time I think something's funny, I get really fucking close to the mic.
I actually altered the way that I laugh a lot since we started. It's so
funny you say that, because I was just having a similar conversation with somebody at work today. But go on.
Okay, since we started recording. Like
recording,
like episode 2, I did a lot of like, you know, like really ugly. It just sounded like every time, like I listened over and I was like, God, I sound like that? What the hell?
One of the worst parts of being recorded.
Yeah, so like now, like when I laugh, I make such an effort to laugh like a human being, and not like a fucking trash compactor. Yeah.
Very funny, fellow humans. Ha ha ha
ha. I knew a guy who would laugh kind of. I told him once, I was like, I feel like you don't think I'm funny, because every time you laugh at one of my jokes, it sounds so fake and forced. Because I'd say something that I thought was funny, and he'd be like, ha ha. And he'd be like, dude, I genuinely think you're hilarious. That's just how I laugh.
He's just like, oh.
Yeah, and he was like, "You're not the first person to tell me that." So, and like over the course of the year, like a year later, he told me, he was like, "I've kind of changed the way that I laugh because so many people told me they just felt like I didn't care about what they were saying."
I love and hate becoming like so self-aware about when you make noises like that. Me and my one of my best friends growing up, Oakley, we just a lot of times going back and forth like that, do that like reassurance of like, you know, when you do a basic conversation, like, yeah, I heard you. But we basically did the same thing back and forth. We'd be saying, like, we would talk about a video game or something. Yeah. And basically every converse, like after one person would end a sentence, the other guy would just go, yeah. So it's just like that, just, yeah, back and forth. And then, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was you. Hang on, I was about to say, like, I had a joke like that with somebody, and it was you.
We had that at Domino's. It was the same joke, kind of different, but
it was a different joke, but it was similar in the yeah. Because there are a lot of loud machines at Domino's, and so sometimes we'd be talking like across the store, and we'd, you know, if one of us said something that the other didn't quite hear, we'd just be like, yeah,
yeah, like eye contact and everything, like, yeah, even just to piss each other off, like literally like feet from each other.
There were times when
you said, just like, yeah, and just walk away. And just. But the one I was talking about earlier is someone was talking about, is someone I work with. She was talking about how her husband laughs and how it's not very manly at all. And it made me think about the fact that.
Dude, stop! Oh my god!
You're so funny.
It made me think about, like, so many times in my life I've changed how I laugh, and if you do it like consciously enough, you'll like set your own default. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you pay attention to how you laugh enough, and you're like, well, I like this laugh better. Mm-hmm. You maybe try a few out in the mirror. I don't know. What if you had specifically like a long time ago, I was listening to a YouTuber that I liked his laugh more than mine, and he would laugh a lot. Then, not long after that, I started to laugh like him. And that has changed with a few people since I've gone on, but that's the first time today I've ever thought about, like, of course I've thought about consciously changing my own laugh. Yeah. But I've never took a step back and been like, wow, I did that like 4 or 5 times.
What if it kept, like, evolving until eventually you just came full circle and you were back to, like, your 6-year-old laugh?
a very
You're like
baby
yeah,
laugh.
like 46 and just laughing like that. Someone's like, "How old is this guy?" They haven't gone to the evolution yet.
The fuck is that noise?
There's a dog
Dog.
outside playing.
There's dogs.
Sup, dog?
What's up, dog?
I had a fucking joke that I forgot. I'll do it next time.
Okay.
It's a joke for you guys, not the podcast.
Oh,
I think it's hilarious.
that's exclusive.
It is.
Exclusive.
I love that word.
I'm angry that I forgot it.
Exclusive. But I don't really. I feel like I could try to focus on my laugh right now. It takes like a lot of independent thinking.
Yeah.
Because if I talk about it right now and then like I feel like I couldn't even give you an authentic laugh until you said something that made me laugh.
Right. You have to actively
Everything
think
else would
about it
just be
too.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Which is yeah, which is which is something that I've heard like a lot of actors say, that like a lot of people say like crying is one of the hardest things, like making yourself cry on film is one of the hardest things to do, but a lot of them say that just laughing, like getting a genuine laugh that doesn't seem like it's absolute horseshit.
Well, okay, so yeah, that, and I've also heard that just doing comedy, like being funny in general, like in when acting is like really hard to nail, because there are like comedy pieces of like, you know, all throughout time.
Right.
But I've heard that like anyone can do like some sort of emotional thing, because everyone's got some sort of emotional thing in their life to throw back to. But getting down timing and everything,
I think
can just
I would
really
be the opposite example of that. I
Really?
think I could do comedy a lot better than emotion.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, you're not an actor, so.
True, but I'm saying if I were to throw myself into the position right now and be like, all right, you got to try to act, having no experience. I'm literally bringing myself down every peg. What do you want from me? Having no experience,
Right.
I haven't acted before, I think I probably would be able to do comedy better, just based on the fact that like I've never
So
had
funny.
to fake too much emotion.
Yeah.
But I make people laugh all the time. Also, I think a huge part of it is like in the writing. Like I think a severely talented person can make something that's not very funny a lot more funny. Like people like Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, Zach Galifianakis. Those are all people who can just take something that's kind of funny and just fucking shoot it to the stars.
Yeah.
But I think something very well written can be it's just funny within itself. You know what I mean?
Speaking of Jim Carrey, very excited for the Sonic movie. We cyberbullied an entire animation studio. Like, fix it now. And they did.
I feel like I will probably watch it, but
Yeah,
I have to.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I made
you
fun of
have
it
to.
too much.
I was about to say, if you made fun of it, you're part of the reason they changed it. They listened. We have to respect that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Also, I'm excited to see, because Jim Carrey's been kind of going through some weird stuff the last couple
God bless
years.
that man.
What?
God bless that man.
I kind of thought the same thing. It did look
Do you remember the Emma Stone video?
weird, and no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you remember?
What was that?
So he made a video addressing Emma Stone, talking about how much he would love to just marry her and have like little kids with her, and you know,
50.
yeah, and just like how attractive he found her. Oh, it was weird.
That's
It was
weird.
fucking weird.
Why did that immediately put Emma Stone in like a 17-year-old category? Even though I know she's like in her mid-20s, I'm just like, no.
The age thing wasn't weird. It was just like he doesn't know her. He isn't involved with her. He never acted with her. As far I don't think they had ever met, but he just had a celebrity crush and was like, I would love to just have your babies, man. Be the father to your children.
Please.
Let's have a house with a white picket fence and grow old together. You and me.
See,
and
okay.
put it on the internet.
You know what?
It's so weird.
It's Jim Carrey. Give him what he wants.
Yeah, for real. I also need to take one for the fucking team.
I love Jim Carrey so much. Although the Sonic movie,
The Truman Show is one of my favorite movies. I love Jim Carrey too, but I think that's one thing.
That's so creepy.
You know, you guys are some of my closest friends. If either of you or any of my other like really close friends did that, I'd be like, stop.
It is
Cut it out.
Saying it in real life and being like, wow, I love them is one thing, and then putting it on the internet and being like, marry me.
And going into so
I
much
wanna have your
detail about like
babies.
how he's planned out their life.
That's a little, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they were friends, that would be funny, but since they don't know each other, it's
Right.
very weird.
Yeah.
I feel like so we'll kind of put him. Obviously, in my head, he doesn't stand a chance. But we're gonna put him like side to side with Adam Sandler, who has like a very prominent outline of his career. Like he started off doing these stand-ups, then he went to SNL, then he did some movies, and then eventually he did all these shit like Jack and Jill and shit like that.
Oh, there's a theory that he just has a movie start, and then that's just his excuse to go on vacation with his friends.
Oh my god, mood. Me if I was famous.
Makes sense.
And just gets a shit ton of money to go dick around and make a movie and just hang out in fucking Africa with his buddies.
I love Jim Carrey and all, but I get a weird fear that this is like a Jack and Jill for Jim Carrey. You know what I mean?
Do you think so?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. The trailers look pretty good, but he also Eggman's a pretty strange character to throw yourself into.
Yeah, I think it might be perfect. I think why isn't this charging?
That's because that has to be on.
I think it might be the perfect comeback role. Because I think if he just jumped into something like, I don't know, Batman. All right, looks like it's just me. John just walked away to go do a little something else. So I just want you to sit back and enjoy the tunes. I'll play a little. Excuse me, I actually had this planned out. Can you just give me some time to be on the mic alone?
Why couldn't you just have dead air?
Hey, chill.
I fucking love dead air so much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Trevor Valenzuela, and tonight I'm going to be your master of ceremonies. We're going to get you started tonight with some smooth jazz. So let me just get a couple snaps.
Oh, yeah. We're not going to... Jazz is off the wall. We can't have it in unison.
Yeah.
This is jazz, right?
Something like that. I don't know. I'm no jazz expert. I prefer more the classical works of, Beethoven and,
You like jazz?
Fuck.
What were we talking about before I had to go do that thing?
Jim Carrey throwing himself into Eggman. I think it might be the perfect little comeback role, because if he just jumped into something like super serious or super over the top, but this is like... Because there were movies where he was over the top in like adult movies, like Liar Liar. This is very obviously like an animated, not children's movie, but it's not to be taken super seriously.
Right.
There's not a lot of, and so it's. I think it might be good for him to just return to the acting scene to be like, here's this joke character, and I'm a joke actor. Okay, that sounded mean. Jim Carrey's a fantastic actor, but a lot of his stuff is funny stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that jazz thing was pretty fucking weird. I can't get over it.
What jazz thing?
My little master of ceremonies thing was not a fan. Boo.
That being said, you have spoke before about how you and I should have a radio station.
How fucking cool would that be?
I think it would be great.
Just you and me have like a little short 1 minute conversation between songs.
Yeah, let's see. Like while you and I talking may not be that like impressive or like captivating. I think small chats that we can throw a few jokes here and there, and then just whatever we think is music. I think that's all
and
the world has ever asked.
We're not like, I'm not like Billie Eilish, and you're fucking grindcore. I don't know. We a lot of our music tastes will blend pretty easily.
Yeah.
It won't be hard to come up with a bunch of tracks.
There's an episode of What Say You that I think you'd really enjoy.
I've listened to it.
Oh, you've listened to that one already? The tape where they...
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Because he's like,
so
we didn't
much.
have an episode this week, but here's a radio show that
I enjoyed that so much. Oh, possibly more, especially because their music recommendations were... Not only what
I'll be honest with you, Chief. I skipped the music.
Did you really?
Yeah, skip through it.
Oh,
I'm there for Sal and Quinn.
You are a fake fan because that.
Excuse me, you don't listen to the JV episodes.
Okay, because
you fake fan.
You can't tell me you're there for Sal and Quinn if
I
the JV episodes aren't Sal and Quinn.
Okay, I'm listening to them talk, but like the songs, I was just like, I'm not really feeling this. I can just skip through and keep doing my little boring fucking sweep this room.
Okay, well. Okay. I listen to the music because it makes me feel like I got closer to Sal and Quinn because these are the music that they chose. They had one shot at doing this, and they're like, I want to put this song and I want to put this song in. They think about how the
you're never going to know that.
Just your library.
No, he's crying.
You good, bro?
Bruh.
Sorry, go on.
Just your library alone. Think about how many songs are in there, and then somebody told you like you're gonna have like an hour where you have to share the spotlight with someone else and go back and forth throwing songs in. Doesn't that hurt your brain even a little bit? Just know it, because I know just how much you love music, just like I do. Are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, don't talk to your cat that way. He's a good boy.
Okay, we're
Yes.
gonna go off tangent right
Fucking
now, but
bitch.
I don't know why he can't just scoop the litter over the shit. He's got to pick at the. You can hear it in our. It's either our first episode. Yeah, it's our first episode, right?
What is wrong with you?
Where you just hear just like the.
Yeah,
in the background.
I was about to say
that's this motherfucker right here doing it. He's not putting it over the shit. He's okay. So what they do is they get in the litter box. And then they only shit and piss in the like front like 3 to 4 inches of the litter box, and then they use the rest for like standing room only. And that's where they do their work with the.
Yeah.
But then he turns around. He gets in the standing part, his head over the piss and shit, and he's just picking at the plastic.
I'm glad that your cats do try to clean up though, because I know cats that don't. Like I've got a friend, I go watch their pets when they go out of town, and like their cats just shit in the litter box and walk and leave it. And I'm so glad that I have like cats, and you have cats that'll like go to the bathroom and at least make an effort.
You also
Can you stop that? God, I'm trying to
for
talk.
fuck's sake!
Oh!
Oh god,
Jeez.
oh god, oh god, oh god.
Anyway, yeah, because you know my cats will do their business, or if they smell like if they go around an area that sounds like one of my dogs has to wear diapers because he likes to pee in the house. So if they like smell the diaper or they go anywhere near him, they'll start like pawing around because they're like, this is not good. This needs to be cleaned up. Someone needs to take care of this. He's not supposed to be doing this.
Your cats?
Yeah,
That's impressive because your cats also have like an automatic.
Litter box, yeah.
Litter box, yeah. So they should be completely pampered into the fact that they don't even have to touch the shit because they know like how often does it like do the skim on it?
I think it every time it detects movement, it'll wait 10 minutes without movement.
Oh,
to do
okay.
It. But I think they all came from the same mom, and she just taught them that way.
Well, Carl taught Piper, and that's why she does it. So
Good.
And Carl came from an orphanage, so
My mom really wanted to teach them to like
call it pound orphanage.
My mom really wanted to train them to go in the toilet because they have like little like
yeah
things that you can. It's like litter around the toilet, so they get used to going there, and then you just make the hole bigger and bigger until eventually you take away the litter altogether, and they know that that's where you're supposed to go. And that way, if we go in and we see that they've gone, we can just flush the toilet and be good.
God is dead, and we killed him.
Train the cat to go to the bathroom right. It's
toilet.
unnatural the way they go now.
Such a primitive form. Grow up. So back to what I was saying. I could feel like in my body when I'm put in that situation, you have to pick those songs just like because I know how much you love music.
Yeah.
Just as much as I do, maybe more, maybe less. I don't know. I just said I knew.
I don't know you.
That's hard. That's a hard thing for me to do. So just to think about when they put those in the episode.
I think I've got my list.
Those are songs that they probably
that
really thought about, especially because like this is their first one. It's a pitch too. It's a pitch to somebody to try to win them over. So also the first song that Sal plays is called "Microphone Fiend, and I don't remember who it's by. I know, excuse me, a band called Rage the Machine covers it, and I like that version a lot better, but the original version's kind of like hip-hoppy. But it's like old school Wu-Tang kind of hip-hop,
Yeah.
which is shit that I can get behind because I love, Wu-Tang and
I don't know. I think
whatnot.
I think I understand what you're saying, but not with music. Because I love music, but I think you love music a lot
All
more
I
than
smell
do.
right now is cat shit. Jesus
My bad.
Christ. Keep going.
My bad.
Keep going.
Now that you brought it up,
Yeah.
I can't stop
God.
smelling it. So anyway, stop.
Incredible. Now it's gonna smell like flowery
Do
shit.
you not care about the ozone layer?
Did you hear somebody outside replying to
What?
you? They're like, what?
Oh, over there. Anyway, I feel like because
You're
I have the
despicable.
same.
Ozone. I want to be comfortable in this second right now.
I have a list of songs that I'm like, if I were to show somebody a song, first of all, this is probably the one I'd use. For me, harder would be like a list of movies. Like I've been trying to come up with like my top 3, and it's tough.
It is really tough.
I've always looked at our dynamic that way because you've talked to me for hours about bands you like and music that you like and what it means to you and who this means to you, and so I always pictured if you and me were our friendship is you're the music guy, I'm the movie guy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But we both, you love movies and I love music, but I feel like if either of us has our respective mountain to stand on, that's what they are.
Nice.
So
cute.
Well, it makes me feel good that you put me in that position.
yeah,
Because I would definitely put you in the movie position over me.
I'm glad, and
Even though
it's
you haven't
better
seen
than
Pulp Fiction.
I'm working on
It's
it.
one of the 9.
No, I know. Okay, I watch like 3 new movies every week. I've just been slacking. Okay, I'm gonna get on it. But Halo Reach just came out on PC. I'm writing my own
I think
stuff.
the whole world
okay?
went into disarray when Halo Reach came out.
Just chill out. But I don't know. Yeah, and it's better than my friend Josh, he's the trash guy.
Trash guy.
Yeah, like you're the music guy, I'm the movie guy. He's the trash
He's
guy.
just into garbage.
Yeah. So at least you're not that.
Chasing the garbage.
I can't
truck
walk
down the
around
street.
with that guy before he's like, oh, dude, you smell that? That's moldy pizza. Fuck. They got moldy pizza out here.
He's
Shit,
like a
dude, this is
half-eaten apple sticking out of a can. He's like, dude. Oh, okay. So you
the last
wouldn't
time I
get
saw
it.
one of these.
You probably wouldn't understand because you're not like in the culture, but this is a big deal.
All right, you want to wrap this up? We're at an hour and 12 minutes.
Sounds good to me.
We're at a minute.
I think this is lots of fun.
This was a good one. All right, let's shake hands.
Psych.
I hate you so much.
That went way better than I ever could.
I wonder what that sounded like. Please shake my hand.
Okay.
Don't break the tradition.
I psyched him. No, you don't know.
I knocked the fucking microphone off the table. I caught it like Spider-Man.
Like
brought the
Spider-Man.
head back,
It's been
slicked to
me.
the hair, and his hand went so far forward and just knocked the mic right off the table.
Oh, I saw you start to move it. And I was like, I gotta
Just
catch
the-
it. And then you went up. You went up, and I smacked the microphone. I want to know what it sounded like. Fuck.
We'll find out, won't you?
We will.
Listen to this episode to find out.
All right.
Even though you're already listening.
Well, whenever we get around to recording episode 7, we'll do that. Shouldn't be too long.
Okay.
All right.
Dead air.